Hello, sysfailure here. Bit of a surprise this week. Mojang dropped the snapshot on us a day early. And as no surprise, there are a couple of new features in it as well. As I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, they do tend to do this, even though they say bug fixes, there's always a little something extra. So obviously we're talking about 12W42A. So I'll just run through a few of the features. Just some experience. Okay, first off, anvils. Previously, you needed to have 3 blocks up here, and then you'd have another 3 down here, and then you'd have an iron ingot in the middle. That meant to make an anvil, you were looking at 55 iron ingots, which is obviously quite expensive. Now, you actually just need to do that. So now it takes 31 iron to get yourself an anvil, so obviously a little bit cheaper there. Now there's been a few changes with anvils that I shall run through. They do work a little bit cheaper. Sorry, they work a little bit differently, so they're a bit cheaper now. So if we just pop a couple of things in here. There we go. So if I want efficiency 1 with my unbreaking 1, so I get both in one, it's going to cost me 8. But if I take off the unbreaking 1 and add an unbreaking 2, it will cost me 12. Now, the same if I want to rename, so I just want a diamond pick. Not really all that expensive, 9 levels. And you'll notice that the name on items now becomes italics when it's been renamed. Obviously you can probably still change that back with MBT edit if you wish, but that's how they are in game. So put one down now. Now, previously, if you had a couple of items such as this, so these are both sort of level 30 items, and you wanted to combine them together, it would just give you an amount of levels, but then wouldn't allow you to actually use that many levels. But if I put it in now, it actually says it's too expensive and it won't let me do it. So you won't find yourself running around trying to get your hands on sort of 40, 50, 60 levels worth of XP and then finding out you can't actually use it. Another little thing in regards to repairs, you may notice the ones down here. You can now actually repair items using the materials that they're made from. So a wooden shovel would take planks, stone shovel, cobblestone, gold shovel, gold ingots, iron ingot, and finally diamond and a diamond. So if you have a little bit of spare hanging around, that's quite good for repairing your tools. Now, the other little thing is these. Now, if you know anything about redstone, you will know that this would previously do absolutely nothing. It couldn't power that in any way, and it still doesn't actually power it either. But what it does do is it now locks however the output of this one is. I'll just demonstrate. If I turn that on, you'll see there's now a lock bar appeared over it. And if I now turn off the input, there is still power running through. Now obviously that's not powering that, as you can see. Now, if you just hop over here, you'll see it's the same thing. I've stepped to the pressure plate, that's now locked as an output. You could obviously previously do something similar with this, just a loop of redstone. So obviously it then becomes self-powering, like that. So you probably wonder, based upon that, what's the real point in being able to do this? Well, that's where the magic comes in. say that you have maybe traps or doors that require certain combinations, such as here. Say this is a trap, and I step on the trap. Oh no, it's been activated. But if I'd activated a lock earlier on, as you can see, I've now locked that repeater to not output. So now, perfectly safe. Now back off, and it now activates. And you can also use it as a kind of AND gate as well. So I want the door to stay open, I step on here. Oh, but no, that doesn't work. But if I get this lever, or maybe I need 2 players or whatever, activate, and that's now locked at. So I can step off the plate, and that stays in the lock state. So that's going to be very useful. May shrink certain gate types. I've not really experimented any further on that. Now, the final thing for this snapshot, anybody who has experienced bats and is an adventure map maker or similar has probably noticed what happens if you go ahead and have bats anywhere near pressure plates. And they probably have nightmares about it, such as maybe your map has this wonderful TNT section so that the players get trapped. But it's dark and the bat spawns and it hits the plate and you've had it. But what happens now? There you go, bunch of bats. Even more bats. Yep, bats no longer trigger pressure plates and they no longer trample crops either. There you go, and this is a finale just to show that obviously these are hooked up. There we go. So that's it for the 12W42A snapshot. Next week is when we're due to have the 1.4 release, so we'll see what happens then. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.